I really feel now that I've kind of shared my piece enough, and I can feel the love really of the guides as they gather to speak to us now. So thank you so much for listening. I'm going to invite you as I prepare and allow these guides, these voices I can feel stepping forward with love to offer something for us all. I'm going to invite you to, as you're listening, close the outward facing eyes, turn the attention inwards with an intention just to notice the physical sensation in the center of the chest and rest in the heart and center. Open to notice the sensation of breath in the body, the lift and drop, the rise and the fall, the flow, however that flows. Open to notice how that changes while we bring attention to it, without naming it or judging it, making meaning from it, but just noticing. And then opening to notice, without naming it, the sensations in the body as a whole. And to keep our attention returning here to this physical, somatic state, listening, this noticing of how we feel inside, while the words from the guides are coming through, so that we're in our own inner safe place. We're activating our internal discernment, invoking to receive only what's for us in a way that's safe and loving, because every channeled message brings energetic transmissions and information packets that will or won't land with us. So you're invited to ask your higher self and your guardians to oversee what you receive from the following transmission. We are bringers of the frequency of peace. And when we say we bring this, we invite its resonance to vibrate within your own fields. Those of you who wish for this, who are receptive to this, who yearn in your heart of hearts for the peace, for the space, to feel the peace that always resides on the other side of conflict. This peace that never leaves you, but sometimes you may leave it without realizing what it is that makes you do this, what it is that pulls you out of your birthright, which is to feel vibratorily in your whole system, through all your fields, the peace you are. Beyond all the stories of your own making, of your co-creative making, there is always, always the peace you are to come home to. Always within. How do you manifest this inner peace in the outer reality? You ask. So often we hear you ask this question, and it touches us to hear you ask this, for we dance in the peace you are. When we connect with you, we meet you here. We are one with you in the peace you are. This is the field of our meeting, the dimension of our connection. You are always this, always here. How to bring what you are to the playground of what you create, the manifest reality, the field projected holographically from all the encodements within you. For your reality is projected from all the encodements within you. Well, it is to see and to believe and to expect the peace you are to be more real than the trauma you hold on to so tightly, that you vibrate with, that you have yet to heal within yourselves. This tight, constricted, hurting parts of you are the parts that cannot be gainsaid. They cannot be gone against. They have to be faced and met in field of love itself. They have to be welcomed home. They have to come home to you, to your perception, your adult perception, your connected perception. The eye that knows itself as one with all that is, that knows itself as the love of all that is, can look upon your hurting parts and understand how they came to be. Can look upon the parts of you that believe, really truly believe in conflict as more real than peace, and understand why. What you have lived through, what you have gone through, the experience over multiple lives that you have collected that have led to the vibratory knowingness within yourself that conflict is more real than peace. There is a history upon history upon history backing up the belief that conflict is more real than peace, that it is indeed the narrative that propels you forward. It is not the truth of who you are, but it has been the actualization of your collected experiences, which, when it still vibrates in your system because those traumas are unhealed and remain as part of your fields, is constantly bringing you the information that this is happening now. The vibratory action of trauma in the fields brings the intelligence of the system, the information that trauma is happening now, and you cannot think yourself beyond that. You cannot fool your own innate intelligence and tell it that you know better when it is receiving the vibratory information from the unhealed parts of yourself that trauma is happening now. And so, beloveds, what do you manifest for yourself, but what you need in order to trigger yourselves to move, to release, to contact, to release these memories you manifest collectively. Renditions of the story, likenesses, repetitions, that they are as whispers compared to what you have really lived through. And we mean this with full awareness of the severity of what is happening for many of you now. They are as whispers compared to what you originally lived through. Do you have some comprehension of the depth of your own grief, trauma, beliefs, and the expectations that have been born out of expecting what has happened before to repeat in the future? The present moment, as so many of you know, is the place where you heal both the past and the future from the wounded expectations of your own trauma. But first, there is a collective reviewing of what is real, what is really real. And in this collective reviewing of what in your reality is really real, questions are being asked, questions are being answered. You obviously have the answers within you, which is why we are always supporting you to turn within, to release yourselves from the relentless looking, searching, and seeking outwards for information that you can trust when you know you can be guided on every single matter by your own innate intelligence, your own connected wisdom, the divine guide, teacher, master, healer, source of all that you have within you. You can be guided from within. You can know not the ultimate truth, not the truth that everybody needs to know, not the truth that you need to impose over everything, but the truth you need to know for you on any topic in this one moment, the truth you need to know that helps guide you home, helps you progress in the way you wish to progress. The truth you need to know that supports your ascension. The next phase, what carries you forward in your own evolutionary story. We beseech you to turn within, not just for the answers to the questions you have about what is real, what should you do, what is the right course of action for you, but to turn within to own your own feelings as they arise in response to what you see in the world around you. We have spoken of this before, and we will re-emphasize it, for we feel the gravity of its importance at this time. When you own this, when you do this, and you bring your healed vibration to the collective field, you can bring the vibratory resonance of peace to the collective field of human consciousness. And in doing so, you are making it less and less sustainable for conflict to maintain a grip on your reality, your shared, collective, and individual realities. It is safe to choose peace in a time of conflict. It is safe to choose peace when those about you are not. It is safe enough for you to choose peace and not to require all those around you to be making the same choices as you. Allow others their place in the picture, for they will be in right place for them. Allow that conflict is happening now. Chaos is happening now. But your field of harmonic resonance, your vibratory contribution of peace, vibratory gift that you bring, as a vibratory gift that you bring. When you detach from your attachments to conflict, which is what happens when you heal your unhealed emotions and responses that arise in you when you see, witness, and experience conflict in your world or the world at large, when you bring your healed vibratory field to the collective consciousness, you are healing more than just the person next to you, more than just one or two other people, the countless numbers who are going to be affected by the benefits of what you bring outweigh the need to look to your neighbor and fear that they are not in peace with you. Let them stand as they are, but heal yourselves. Hold yourselves. Allow your transformation. Allow yourselves to transcend the field of battle. Resonate with the peace that is, as we said before, always vibrating, always resonant in your hearts. And beloveds, you bring such grace to your shared world. Picture you bring such healing, such gifts, and you change what is and isn't possible in the field of manifestation. When you own your own processes in this way, you do not have to come out of your center, join the conflict, rescue your friends and loved ones from being in the fray. You can, if you feel called, work your magic in this way, and it is indeed a deep and powerful way of working your magic, bringing your gifts to this now situation. It is effective. Peace, when held as a vibratory harmonic resonance in your field, is effective, more powerful than its apparent but not actual counterpart, conflict. For peace does not have a counterpart. It is beyond polarity. It is a resonance that arises from the I that you are, that is beyond polarity, that is in unity. It is not about jumping to that place and abandoning the you who is hurting, who is still caught in the field of conflict on either side of the polarity and the polarities that can be found within any field of conflict. But owning and facing those parts of you that vibrate in sympathy with the conflict that you perceive, going through your ownership processes, which means facing how you feel as the compassionate witness we spoke of earlier, the embracing, passionate adult to the child who is hurting, who has lived through all this conflict so countless many times before and grieved to do so, to embrace whatever arises in you as you look out upon the world, as you experience your personal world, the world close to you, close at home, close to your body, close to your home, close to your work, close to your contacts and your close relationships. As you embrace what you feel, you release what keeps you from peace. And so you release what keeps the world from peace. So we invite this as an offering, a perspective, a way of potentially working your magic in the world situation that you can own, that is yours and yours entirely. It does not depend upon anyone joining forces with you. that cannot be taken from you, and that no one and nothing can interfere with when you choose to face and own your own processing in this way, and clear what stands in the way of you and the peace you always are within, beyond all that's ever happened to you in the history of your own story. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for being with us and hearing us speak. Thank you for joining with us in this poignant moment in your collective evolution. It is not scripted, where you go from here and we meet with you and watch. We meet with you in love, and we meet with you and wonder at how we shall be when we meet again, at what we shall see unfold as we watch you and watch with you. The unfolding of this next phase in your collective history of evolution as you write it moment to moment. The future is unscripted. It is yours. You own it. We cannot emphasize this enough. You are sovereign beings, recognizing your symbiosis within all things, preparing to embark on a synergistic creativity as you together build the foundations of the world you want to see on the other side of the eye of the needle you have passed through in the year 2020. As you allow the connected awareness of unity consciousness to reset the dimensions of your manifested creations and how you are relating with every aspect of your manifested world, together and as sovereign beings. Thank you for inviting us into contact. We are the overlighting representatives from the Council of Overseers working with humanity and Gaia in the shared ascension process at this time. We will be available to speak again when next invited. Wow. Okay. Thank you for sitting with that. We're invited just to take a few seconds to let ourselves re-anchor in that. How do I feel within? Noticing the breath, allowing what we've received to settle, and allowing now there may be things moving in us, because a lot of what was covered is likely to touch things that are live and in process within us. So to acknowledge going forward from this channeling that much of what we are experiencing may point to processes that we may like to own and work with consciously, if that's something we do as a matter of habit. But to be aware, to be a little gentle with ourselves, and treat ourselves with the love and the nurture and the care that acknowledges that we may go forward from here feeling strong feelings or thinking strong thoughts or having responses. And we're invited just to let those, whatever comes, rise up and move through us, and to welcome what's showing itself in our fields, having sat with this transmission, this broadcast. But to return always to that, I am in the heart and center, I am paying attention to the movement of breath in the body, sensations in the body as a whole, and allowing my feelings, physical feelings, emotional feelings, and thought energy to move as it needs to. Just, for the next few moments. And again, throughout the day, if you become aware that there is a process that's in motion that's connected to what you've sat with during this transmission. All right. So thank you so much for being with us. And yeah. And if there are things that are moving for you and you feel you want to share, please do get in touch. And let me know how you are. Okay. With love and thanks.